Nobody. 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 Going once. Going twice.
I can't. Oh, feelings.
How about elfing? Can you elfing?
Yeah,
That'll work.
helping all the time.
I think
Elfing every day.
That sounds dirty. So
I'm
Oh,
elf
neat.
right
Take
now.
it how you want.
Oh,
It's because you're so bilingual, honey. You.
Where the heck is Ken?
I tried to learn French and Spanish at the same
don't
time.
like-
I do
so
not
many.
recommend. I
We don't like-
do not recommend.
Then just learn Latin.
You learn
I'm
a
like-
little bit when you do like doctory things and
Yeah.
psychology. I almost said when you're psychotic, and then I was like, that's not what I mean to say.
When you're Dr. Psychotic, you got it.
When you're doctor psychotic, you learn a lot of Latin.
I bet you they do.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, they do for Greek and Latin for the things. Yeah.
Yeah, like
All the
medical terms, medication names, even sometimes.
Medical terms, thank you. I was like, those words they use to describe medical things, like words, even.
Yeah, they're like broken down, like each, like 3 little parts of one medical term is like 3 words in one.
That's all words. They're like called letters.
Yes, yes. You're right. Who came up with that?
That's a joke. I'm joking.
You're right, though.
Oh,
That
I
was
got
the
the joke, though.
beginning.
Okay, here we go.
That was
I can't
I
get my
need a
QR
new
thing
neck.
ever to work.
Bruno.
I couldn't get mine to work either.
I hate QR codes. They don't like me.
I'm like one of those old people you were mentioning
There you-
earlier. That,
You
like,
know, it sucks being the same age as those old people.
yeah. I'm interested.
Oh, Reno.
I've been there.
I want to go to Reno.
I don't remember
Just to
much.
say I've been to Reno.
That's what happens when you go to Reno.
I wish I didn't. I got
Apparently
married.
it's not a
Oh my
word.
gosh, I'm trying
my
to
gosh,
type,
did you
but I
really?
keep putting in too many letters into each word because my fingers are not
Excuse
working correct.
Rick.
But we're putting words in that it's not picking up. I mean, we're laying words down.
Bruno.
laying them down.
I'm
I
just
just
having
keep
fun
trying
watching
to-
everybody else's words going now.
Very good. That's a good word.
These
I
are
like
good
Crone.
brain
Coffee.
games.
Coffee
I wrote-
should be a word.
That's what happens. You
Coffee
start
is
making
definitely a
up
word.
words.
Fence.
I'm
Fence
gonna
is
put
fun.
coffee.
Crooner,
Coffee.
Crooner, I can't type right now. But crooner's a word.
Coffee is no word. Apparently. Anyway.
Okay,
Dude,
Nika.
I put corn in 3
Yeah.
times and it didn't
He's
acknowledge
coming
me.
behind.
Rude.
He's coming
Go
I've been
forward.
watching you put corn in. I've seen people put through I watched people put corn in,
Here goes
Indigo
Barbie.
put corn in.
right behind. As you can tell, I
Put
love
cone
horse racing.
in. I put cone in.
You know what? I think it's cheating. Like, it is
717,
not
y'all.
taking our words. That or we're all really good and we keep putting in the same words and it's like I'm not counting the same word more than once. Maybe that's it.
That's probably it.
I
And
just think
also,
it's
they tried typing in just an awakened instead of the StreamYard.
All right, Tiff.
it's New Year's Day. It's having its own mood.
Right?
You're right there on it.
It also is going through feelings.
Right? Feelings.
This is annoying. Now it's not letting me type in anything. Don't know why I would have think of that one.
What in the crud?
Everybody's got faith
Because I'm in the daggum village playing instead of in the waking like I tell everybody to go to.
Oh no.
Oh no, girl.
Ah,
You're winning, Misha. You are winning.
I am a winner.
You're the only one playing.
Cosmic is the only one. Okay, go on now.
All those words
I
had.
found it.
Yeah, we have fireworks going off next door.
Yeah, I hear them.
I
Mhm.
am ignoring the fireworks.
We're worried about the fur babes with the fireworks.
I love fireworks.
Yeah,
It's the best day of the year.
My cat is outside, so he's probably not too happy with it.
I feel like the game is against me.
And Beans is just sleeping through the whole thing.
We've put in a lot of good words, you guys.
Right? We've been feeding it.
Yeah,
I don't know what the problem
I'm
is.
seeing a lot.
I think I found the. I think I found the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 word. Unless you can find another one.
It's 2-8.
No, I think there's just one.
Yeah,
How?
that was a hard
This
one.
game's cheating.
That was fun.
It's not taking all our words. Rude.
It's very, very rude indeed.
Gonna tell my father about this.
Does anybody have a Twitch?
I
have a Twitch.
one, but I don't
I do.
stream on it.
Yeah, I have one.
They have a-
I haven't streamed on it yet.
They have a Gardic, which they used to have it on regular internet where you could do it like this. But now you can't.
That's Watson Christie.
Oh, Gartic.
That'd
No.
be fun.
Got away with it.
The drawing.
Oh yeah.
I have all the streaming capabilities.
You do?
Yeah.
Let me see.
As I
let me
sit
see.
outside with my $7,000 computer.
Oh, I think we can still just do it. Oh, maybe not. Lame.
Oh no, let's go. Oh, Cooter. Oh,
Pretty sure that one means the same everywhere.
I'm sorry. I
But
did that into
Taco
your
is in
ear.
there.
Taco.
sorry.
Oh my god. I am the streamer and I am
I'm gonna see
started.
if that's rude.
Okay.
It's not a word.
Right on. When y'all are ready,
Yeah.
I got this.
Is it like taking anything I'm putting down? It took one. That's right. You take my word the second time I put it in.
Y'all tell me when we're ready because I got something for us. Cockatoo! Cockatoo!
I used
So
to
they
want a
put-
cockatiel.
Cockatoo! Cockatoo!
How's that for being Australia?
Oh, there's a
That's good.
four-letter.
And you're so warm right now. And I'm
four-letter
so
ones
cold.
we haven't gotten yet.
Super warm.
Taco. Oh, y'all got it.
I think this game is like trying to make me feel like special because it's my birthday.
Yeah, it does
Aw.
make you feel special,
Thanks, game.
but not in a good way.
Thanks, game. I
I
feel special.
literally put that
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Everything
Oh,
makes
it
me feel
blocked that
special.
one. That is not fair. Okay, fine.
What did you do? I'm surprised it didn't block my one.
Technically, it means male rooster.
Yeah.
No. Cockatoo.
Dude, we typed in more than 10 words, but okay. Me fighting the computer.
Oh, I punched mine. Okay,
Okay,
I feel like
I can't believe nobody else was going to catch that and laugh at that.
no, I did. I did.
I feel it. Mm.
Okay,
It's a
my
whole
phone,
story that one day I'll tell you about.
my
Do
phone
we
is
want to keep
down
playing
to
this?
11%, so I'm gonna go away. But
What?
if you don't mind, I'll come back on bridge, if you don't mind.
Okay, I
Sounds
just didn't
good.
hear the first part of what you said.
Oh, my phone is down to 11%,
Oh,
and I'm on my phone. So
yeah,
if you don't mind, I'll go on to bridge.
we like Bridge.
Okay.
I've wondered why Bridge hadn't come out today.
Yeah, he was out earlier. He was out earlier, but yeah, it wasn't. It was the opportunity didn't come out. So let me get him going.
Go ahead, babe.
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Love
getting
you.
myself
Love you.
distracted again.
And Christy,
Mm.
happy birthday. Belated happy birthday. Love you. Mwah.
I
And
have a
the,
Till my
feeling
birthday in your
like you
coffee.
that.
yeah, you know I love seeing you. And
I love
now
you.
you're always my favorite. I love you. But
Aw.
So much.
I'll be
Thank
back
you.
soon.
All right,
Hey,
babe.
sweetheart.
See you soon.
It's like all these letters really need to go together in a different way that they're letting us do.
Yeah,
Did you
these
know?
stupid words. Why
Did
can't
you
I just-
know Torchwood is an anagram of Doctor Who?
Yes, I did.
I
I love
did
that show
too. It
too.
just
Me too. I started with the classic and also Torchwood. I got to meet Tom Baker. That was cool.
Ah, I love Doctor Who. My brother's a big Doctor Who fan. I'm more like
Doctor Who.
I like you know the one with the angels that stop moving when you look at them.
Mm-hmm. Blink.
That one there, yeah, that there terrifies me, but I love it. That there is my favorite of all Doctor Who ones.
That whole
That
the
episode.
whole cyclical timeline he had with the ponds and the angels and the cracks in time, so good as a whole overarching storyline too. As a
Yeah,
writer,
that just
I was very upset, and not that they're gonna ever watch this stream, but calling out the BBC. You purposely wrote Jodie bad. She's an excellent actress, and they purposely wrote her shitty scripts because she was the first female doctor. That's my opinion.
Oh, that makes sense.
I haven't got to watch. They BBC don't like females.
You should
I gotta
watch her,
say, I just
and
don't.
she was with David Tennant. She was in Broadchurch as one of the supporting actresses,
Okay.
and she's freaking amazing. She's an amazing actress, and they just didn't write her well, didn't write any of her companions well. Like, it's just frustrating.
Well, I
I'm
may
very
put my eye
passionate.
patch on to I may put my eye patch on to watch those things because I don't support the BBC in any way anymore. But I can. No, I won't. I will watch it in the legal way. But yeah, it's just yeah. I just haven't been able to watch it since David Tennant because I didn't like the way they treated him.
I think they should have let him be
Yes,
Scottish.
they should just let him be Scottish in everything that he is. Just let him be himself, and
Gosh,
unless he
because
wants to be any other way. And I loved him in that Marvel show that he did.
oh, I know what you're talking about, but the name is escaping my brain right now.
Let me hold on.
It's
Because my brain thinks it's bedtime, but it's definitely not. My sleep schedule got
it's the
messed up
one
on vacation.
I know that it's a Jessica. No, not Jessica. It's a
Oh,
woman.
it's in there. It's in my brain. Why can't it come out? Literally my life.
Something I know. Yeah, I'm trying to get these words too at the same time, but I'm so
Good
something.
Omen.
No, no, no. It's not Good Omen. It's a
He's
Marvel
excellent in
thing.
that though. Oh,
Oh,
it's
he
the
was
thing, the
scary.
Jessica thing. Let me just Google it. Google is literally right
Yeah.
there. I was like, oh, it's gonna bother me. Jessica Jones. There we go.
Jessica Jones. I love that show. And it handled
Man.
everything about it so well.
Did Nico leave us?
Like, no, I'm right here.
I'm just
Huh?
trying to find where I am.
No, Nico, DJ Nico.
Oh, probably it's
Hi,
like
Janelle.
really early for him.
Yeah.
Streamlabs, there we
I
go.
want to
No.
do.
My brain.
Would
has
y'all
There we go.
sometime, not like tonight, but would y'all like to do some Mandelas?
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
I love Mandelas.
Yeah.
Like, who thought
Good Omens.
that?
I want to see Good Omens too.
You mean like the Mandela effect?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like Mandela himself. Did he die in prison or not?
Did he? What do you remember?
He didn't.
What do you remember?
I
I
remember
do.
that did,
Did you?
but then I also remember
Nah.
I go back and forth. I have the both memories.
I remember that he
We got
didn't because then he went on.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. One of our
Hello,
newest
Teresa.
stars.
Hello. I need a new neck.
Goodness.
You're so cute.
I know.
It's like it's really hard to die in prison and then become president or
become president.
prime minister of your
Exactly.
country.
Yeah.
I mean, is it though?
Well, and who thought that the Scarecrow on The Wizard of Oz actually had a pew pew? Y'all remember that?
No.
He did not.
Yes, he did, apparently.
I have to
Did
watch
they
that
edit it
movie
out?
again.
Yeah, we're all like things to do next year.
Right?
See what I did there?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh dear.
Let's see, where's that?
Oh no, someone did that one already.
Did degree work? Mike, I've got like no ability to see the screen except for the big letters. So, hi everybody's beautiful faces, except for I can't see you.
Go to let's see, how do I have
No,
this?
I'm actually outside. So,
Oh, the
it's
light's
just
going
like,
against too, huh?
yeah, I'll show you the.
Oh my
Oh
goodness,
my
look at that.
gosh.
Wow,
Oh,
wow.
beautiful. That's
Show it up a
so
little bit more. Is that like a
pretty.
ring around you? That's
Hang on, I
beautiful.
can go.
Did you guys see what we just
It's the
did?
sky. It's the
Wow,
sky.
that's really
That
pretty.
is beautiful. Those clouds. Do y'all see what we just did? Thanks to Kazi, we just all time traveled. You're welcome. Thank you for that. That is awesome.
Yes, you're in the
Someone
future.
beat me to it.
Welcome to next year. It's doing well.
Wow.
I'd say the year it's pretty good next year.
I didn't know
You're also
Streamlabs
last.
was set up on here. Crazy. You tell that bot that it don't run the show.
We typed in more than 10 words, thank you.
Crazy,
What?
you tell that bot that you can do whatever you want and I will back you.
Hey, hear that bot? We can do whatever we want.
That's right, by golly. Hi, Jenny.
By golly.
By golly. And Janelle, it's great to see
Yeah.
you
Hi,
in here.
Jenny
It's great to
Wing.
see
Hey,
you,
crazy
J1.
girl. Oh, Janelle.
That's
Jesus,
awesome.
How
I need to actually email you again and figure out which art to get from you.
How passive aggressive is Streamlabs? Please refrain. Yeah,
I
you
know, right?
refrain.
I'm
How
like,
about you
no,
refrain?
we don't play that. Brazy, you don't worry about it. You just tell it. You're the boss. You're the boss around here, Brazy.
Well, we'll tell Streamlabs to go F itself. How about that?
Right. Benefit, y'all. Benefit. Somebody type in benefit. I like this. I feel like we could do this more often.
That was me. Thanks, Michelle.
It's me. It's Ernest T.
I did not get that. That was Michelle.
I'm taking this as a
Yeah, let's get
personal
Ben. Let's
affront
not.
that it's not like acknowledging my presence in the game. It's being rude.
I've done
I
that for ages,
exist!
but I've been.
Ugh.
That's been my life, so I've come to terms with the fact the game's not doing it. Game's not acknowledging me? Oh well.
It's okay.
But
My
it is.
friends know I'm a real person.
Yeah.
Dude, the
You
amount of
exist.
times I have to double
Love you guys.
authenticate myself at work now is freaking crazy. I have to like double authenticate to sign into my work laptop, which is already like safe, made safe by my company. And then every login I have to like sign in every 30 minutes and say I'm not a robot. It's exhausting. Like, could you
Oh,
guys maybe increase that to an hour? Could I just like be in here in the system for an hour before you kick me out? Because every 30 minutes is a bit excessive.
I am so tired
how
of
do I
having
know
to
that I'm
prove
not a
who I
robot?
am. It's giving me a complex. It's like I'm
How
never
do
the
I
same
know I'm not a
person.
robot?
I went on that.
Dude, we
page,
typed in
so-
more than one word that entire time. I think
It's
it's
being
not.
mean. Can we change games?
Yes, let's change games.
Yep.
It's being mean.
I might be a robot. How do I know I'm not a robot? I might be lying to this computer.
I've had this.
Janelle's fighting with Streamlabs. Streamlabs, please bite me. Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Janelle, please refrain from spamming caps.
Do it.
Fight.
I don't want to
fight,
get you. I
fight.
don't know what it's going to do, though. It's kind of scares me. What's it going to do now? I've got to thinking about it.
Janelle
my.
gets
I'm
like
turning you off
an award.
stream.
I
I'm
love
gonna-
Janelle. She's so great. Do you guys watch her art stream? Where she draws
No, but I'm
pebbles
going
and
to
talks
now.
about life. It's really cool. I don't know. Are you
have
still
to-
doing pebbles, Janelle, or did you like move on to a different thing?
Can I show you these cards that I got?
Yes, and I want you to do. I want to do this real quick. While you show the cards, I want to do this.
Don't sing me happy birthday again.
That's what I'm doing.
She's like, did you say don't?
You said don't, but I got it.
Hi, Witness. Good to see you. Happy New Year, Witness.
Yes.
I wish we could play karaoke.
We kind of can. You know, that if you
Wonderful
do
wit.
a cover song, as long as it is the exact
We'll
song,
be around all night. We will be around all night, right, guys?
we're gonna be here all night, all day, party like it's on.
Yeah.
That's too slow.
This seems like ethereal.
Yeah, I like Daryl.
Happy birthday to you.
It has my voice.
She's over.
Happy
Another one.
dear Kazi.
I agree, Barbie.
Your
Your TV was out of line. You should be able to say what you want in your own kitchen. Ridiculous.
Yay, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We love you. I don't know if you heard it or not, but I sang in my very horrible voice last night.
Your voice is not horrible. Be nice to yourself.
No, it was yesterday because I didn't have one. It was like,
Oh,
Oh, all right.
okay.
Yeah.
I was
Because
like,
you
be nice to my
25,
friend.
we're not dissing ourselves anymore. Only nice
yeah,
things
I'm
about
not
ourselves.
dissing myself. I'm just was like acknowledging reality, and it was
No,
bad
that's
yesterday.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it gets,
okay.
you know.
It-
But then
it
you
goes
just
off
gotta
that I
get-
smoke.
Yeah.
Janelle.
Janelle cracks
Janelle's
me up.
gonna-
She's
She's
spicy.
gonna fight all
I
the
love it.
AIs.
I know she is spicy. I'm like, that's why
I
she
love
needs
it.
the pebbles.
No, I am too. So like once I fix my computer, my intention is to do gaming
Story of my
streams, except
life.
I'll never get monetized because I swear too
shows.
much.
Well, this is
Uh-uh.
happening?
figuring it right
What
here. This
stream
is just this
occurring?
is not
Oh.
even making sense. Hold on, we got to fix this.
Well, remember, we had to walk through the last one. A lot of us are hands-on learners, right?
Hi,
Right.
Mischief. Wait, like Mischief.
Mischief,
Mugger.
really?
Mischief.
Hold the show. Hold the show, really, because I got to find you.
Hoot Nanny. The
It's a
annual
hootenanny.
Hoot Nanny.
It's an actual real deal hootenanny.
It's a real hoedown.
Where
No
is Mischief?
offense. I'm not trying to offend anybody.
She's
It's
actually
just,
in my chat.
doing accents.
Is your chat not streaming too?
No, it is streaming, but it's
I mean,
she's
to us.
yeah, she's in StreamYard.
Why can't I see? It really
Isn't that
did
where you
delete your
saw her?
messages.
Indigo?
No, I can see her in the
What?
chat.
No, she's there. She's under Brazzy Girl. There might be a delay with the chat, maybe. I don't know. I mean, earlier this year, I had to make Indigo's ghost because I kept getting randomly and I was not blocked because I checked with my other friends whose chats I was not showing up in. Sometimes YouTube just randomly hides people.
Yeah, YouTube is not nice to us. So I got
Sometimes
to
I
save one of the
accidentally hide
comments
people
that you
from
made
myself.
whenever you're fighting with Streamlabs. I'm gonna have to get over there and fight that bot. Mischief, it's so good to see you. Oh my gosh.
Right? Oh, just great.
That
Love
makes me
you.
smile. Tracy, you're being awful quiet over there.
Well, I was the game went too fast for me, so I just figured I'd sit back a little bit and watch all of you crazies go Speedy McGreedy answering the
Gotcha.
questions.
See why I don't go on screen, y'all?
Why
The
don't you
Jules
go on
Collins Band on the BBC.
There's a few reasons why I don't.
Okay.
I do, Brazzy.
For one, just because there's a bunch of people out there, I think, that I wouldn't for a long time go live because I didn't want to go on screen. And I think that I want other people to know that they can do it.
Okay.
Yes, any way you
I
feel
fall over
comfortable
in
doing
public.
your channel is valid. I mean, frick, there's VTubers, people who
Yeah.
get this crazy setup where they use a robot persona. Anything goes.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no wrong way to stream.
Except for to not.
There is a wrong way to view, which is to be a jerk. No jerks.
Right.
Number one rule of all our chats: if you're mean, you get a boot. My boots are cute, but I'll use them.
I love you.
I don't boot because I always feel like there's always a lesson to be learned,
Yeah.
and I might mute. And
The
they can
only
just watch me in anger.
I do that as a mod as if it's I've been in before where people are opening up and then someone's clearly spamming. Then I'm no, no one needs to see this, especially
Yeah, I
not
mean, it's
if
just
it's a
blatant like
vulnerable
that.
moment.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just, no mean people started out mean, I don't think all the time. I think that something's happened that's caused them to be mean, and maybe we can help them to remember that it doesn't have to be that way.
I have a very different type of channel though. Mine's mostly going to be very angry men.
Yeah.
So if I start booting them, they're just going to be starting then. That's exactly why we're angry in the first place. So I can't start doing that. So, and I haven't even started yet because no one's on my channel. I don't have any angry men yet. So
Do we have any
I
mods?
had one. I had
Are
one
you
angry man.
expecting
I had
angry
one
men?
angry
Why
man.
would why are you expecting angry men?
Yeah,
Why?
because
She's
my
talking
channel is
about
going to. My channel is directed. My channel is for. My channel's actually going to be called Cosmic Connections, but the one aspect of it is for helping heal men who have been harmed by women.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's a
by
well
domestic.
channel.
Yeah.
Christy, do
So
you want
it's
to-
basically. Yeah,
Do you
it's
wanna
basically
share
it's for
your
it's called Mo Love More Love, and it's my particular aspect of it is for men who have been harmed by domestic violence perpetrated by women, and they're going to be very angry men. So, and I have to deal with that in a very calm and directed manner.
I'm so
And they're going to be
excited for your
angry.
channel.
Oh, thank you.
Do you think they're
Yeah.
going to be angry, or do you think that they're going to be wounded?
Wounded, but the first thing that comes with wounding is angry. First thing that comes is anger, and then the hurt comes. So the first thing that comes is anger. Oh my God, I'm angry, and then the hurt comes. The first response is anger, and then the hurt.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah, and I think there's a difference between like we're talking about a subject that leads to people to feeling angry, but then there's a difference between someone making a comment to make people angry, like in a bad way.
So,
Yeah, exactly. And I have to, and that's what I have to be very careful about. Is like hurt people, and they're going to come at me with hurt, and I have to respond with them with kindness.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
so they
kindness.
respond differently than women. When women have received domestic violence, usually we're not. Well, I was going to say we're not necessarily always. Anger comes. My assumption is that anger comes later after feeling almost so wounded and battered and beaten that you're just hurt more than you are angry, because aren't the people that are on the receiving end of violence typically their hearts are so full and that they absorb.
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
It really depends on the person and the situation. And I find that it really depends on the person. And
Okay.
men really do react differently to women.
Yeah.
And I'm not a professional, and I'm only coming at this to bring the conversations. I'm coming at it to bring the conversation so people start talking about it, because no
Sure.
one's really talking about it. And like I find that the people who really don't want to talk about it the most are women, which is really, I'm talking about here with a bunch of women. So we're
Yeah.
obviously really willing to talk about it, but the ones who don't want to talk about it are perpetrators. So, which is my mother. And also a lot of victims of men are really victims who are men are struggling to talk about it because they've come up against so many blocks and they're not believed. There's no help. They get laughed at and thought of as weak, and
Yeah.
then they don't want to talk about it anymore. And so that's my struggle, is trying to make it a bit easier to talk about and a bit more help out there, and trying to find the services. And my biggest block is that I believe anybody. Someone come up to me and says I'm a victim, I'll be like, oh, okay, you're a victim. And then I find out and dig down a little bit more, and then I'll be like, oh, actually, you might actually have contributed to some of the circumstances. Yeah, you're a victim, but then you've also contributed to the other person being a victim too. So my biggest struggle is that I am not someone who can take on the victims. I need to make the conversations and help governments create services. But as a victim, you can come to me and I will believe you, but you're
that is
likely
true.
to hurt me.
I've dated two partners, male partners, who were victims of like family oriented CSA. And it's so true. Like I feel like there's this stigma also that like men can't be abused by women.
Yeah.
And
especially
so
like in the
that
Bible Belt,
also,
it's bad.
and
I
like
was going to say, is that prevalent in certain areas? I mean, I'm in the Northeast and in New England, and maybe because I've been involved in this for a while, from my perspective, and some of the people that I have encountered, very few men, but there have been some men, and they do find it very difficult to talk about. So Cosmic, I'm really interested in, maybe this isn't the right place and time, but to figure out how you meet them, how do you engage with them, how do they find you, and how do you get to generate those conversations?
I'm very talky. I'll talk to anyone about anything. I'm finding them on Snapchat, and I'm just like, they'll send me a inappropriate picture, and I'll be like, so
Let's talk about it.
Mhm.
yeah, and I'll be
Interesting.
like, so you're willing to talk, you're willing to have an inappropriate conversation. I'm willing to have an uncomfortable conversation, and that's me testing the waters, and then we'll have an inappropriate conversation, and they'll block me. But that's me testing the waters and
Water.
starting to have inappropriate
so proud of
conversations
you.
with people.
And
But
I think
that's
you have to just keep doing that, right? To get, because men don't open up as much as women.
And any time is the right time to have a conversation if we can have it in a positive and healthy, respectful way. Because if we are always worried about it not being the right time, then it's never going to be the right time. And we've got to start getting that taboo away.
Very
on
much.
everything.
Honestly, if they're willing to send me what accounts to a sexual assault picture,
Right.
I'm willing to talk to them about domestic violence. So that's not how I'm going to go about it. That's just, it's only my first month. I've been doing it for 31 days.
I gotcha.
But
if we have any mods
in general, what I would like to do is I'm going to do a survey and just, I'm going to use my ChatGPT and all that sort of stuff and come up with a more gentle way of coming about. Have you experienced it? 1 in 16 Australians, men who admit to it is much, much higher.
Are you
It's more like 1 in 7 men that you know, or it might be a different, but I feel like for the people that do speak out, there's an equal amount that haven't. And I feel
100%.
like, especially for men, because like I feel so like, I don't know the word, like bad for them, because I feel like when you come up against genuine people like Cosmic or like other people in our community that want to help, it can be like so easy to distrust that, because usually, like, I know when I had my issue with my abusive ex and the assault and left, and people like would invite me to events and ask how I was, I would just be like really brutally upfront. I'm like, I've been living with my parents for 2 months because my ex essayed me, and it sucks, but I'm at your bonfire because I don't want to be at home by myself. But like,
and
as
people
a
don't know
woman,
how to
if I
take that.
like, they didn't.
But
But
why
when
shouldn't we be honest? Why shouldn't we be honest?
And when people would react, and I'd be like, listen, I'm not expecting you to have any words of comfort or advice or even know what to say, but
I'm just telling you how I'm going.
But this is, you asked how I'm going, and it's not well.
Wow.
Because I went through an entire 3 years saying, I'm fine,
Right.
I'm fine. And halfway through that, I wasn't fine in a very bad way. And I survived that. But for men, it's also even more crushing, because I feel like they're not allowed to even cry. Like, from a young age.
They're not allowed to. Yeah, they just got to keep going through it. But see, I figure I keep getting hurt by men, and I figure, how am I going to stop this? And this may be kind of selfish of me, but I figure if I can't stop them hurting me, maybe I can stop their hurt by helping their hurt, and I can stop this at the past by stopping them being hurt.
Yeah.
And stop the violence against men. This is a selfish act. I'm being selfish. If I can't stop them hurting me, maybe I can stop them being hurt. So this is entirely selfish in some ways. And also it's selfish in that I'm going to stop my son being hurt. I'm going to stop my daughter from thinking that it's okay for her to hurt men. I'm going to stop my mother from thinking that what she's done to my stepfather was entirely okay. And she's out there living her life thinking like, oh no, I'm out there thinking that what I've done to this entirely awesome person, and she thinks what she's done is okay, and she's out there. And I suffered. Like, I wrote that chapter in the book, and it almost put me in hospital. And and she rang me when I was in hospital, and she laughed.
Mm-hmm.
She laughed, and she just and
That's
I'm
what
out
hurt.
here.
Yeah.
That's what hurt.
She
You
didn't
know.
get it. She didn't get it at all.
I didn't get it. I mean, parents are funny. So some parents are really open to hearing where they've made mistakes, and there are others that are in pure denial. There's, and I adore and love my father, but my father still talks to the man that violently hurt me. It was a buddy of his, and he thinks that I misunderstood the experience. I'm like, no, I did not
I hate that.
I did not misunderstand, and I can give you a play-by-play. But the point for me, it's I can't change that generational thinking in his mind, but it is a very taboo subject, and I think that there are different generations of men and their and women. So this is, I'm going to change that verbiage, because there's different generations. If you've grown up in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, I'll throw the 70s in there, versus 80s, 90s, 2000 and onward, because we've evolved in conversations about what is appropriate and inappropriate. Doesn't mean that it's not happening, but we can have those conversations now. Right. And if you say to someone, well, I'm a little uncomfortable about where this is going, they can still choose to behave the way they're going to behave. But if you said that to somebody from the 50s or the 60s or the 70s, they're like, hey, you're a cool chick. You're a good broad or whatever. There's a different language. There's a different expectation. There's a different assumption. Thank you, Body Illusion, for nodding your head with me, because maybe we're a little bit older than some people. But, then you have people that are in the 80s and 90s, and it was very prevalent and started to come out more in conversations about women and domestic violence. It's not as
I'm glad that men are
coming out.
becoming more free about speaking out.
100%.
Because they've been hiding. They've been, they get ostracized. And there's other right there, and I didn't know about it. And to this day, I feel guilty that I wasn't, but that's my son, by the way, Teresa. That's my
yeah. Well, I saw him earlier with you, so I know.
Oh, okay, yeah. So,
and I really,
but he is strong enough to speak up, and for me, for him to speak up is a beautiful thing. It's terrible that something like that happened to him, but it shows others. You can speak up as well.
100%.
Don't be scared.
And I think
don't let the macho keep you hid.
Right. And I think at least the experience in conversation with some men that I've had, and other can actually maybe jump in. When a man talks about it, to me, he's more masculine and more manly and more almost heroic's a little dramatic, but we've and I think women have done this as well. We categorize men as, in the old days, it was John Wayne. It was this silent, sort of brooding, tough guy.
Right.
In reality, that was just an actor and just a character. And in real life, how much of that, men might put that facade on that they're, they can take anything. And when they demonstrate that they have some wounds and that they've been hurt, it doesn't, my eyes, it doesn't make them weaker. I'm like, holy shit, what an intuitive person. And wouldn't it be great if there was a place for that and for men to go and have these discussions? And so if Cosmic's creating doing that. That's amazing.
We're all
Yes, she
breaking the
is.
chains
Yes.
right now with what we're doing,
Yes.
and I am so
It
proud.
is.
So proud.
It is a space that needs to be filled.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be ugly. But also, it also has to do with culture. You know
100%.
how, you know.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Where
no,
you've been
you
raised.
do not cry when you're a kid. When you're a boy, you do not cry. You do not suffer. You do not.
Right.
You stand and you take it like a man. You're
Right.
5 years old and you say you take it
Yes.
like a man.
Man.
You know.
Can I add
children
something to
deserve-
that?
Please do.
Go ahead, Tiff.
Add anything, Tiff.
Something I
The
want
winner
to.
of the game. We won't talk about that.
We will talk about those glasses, though. Love them.
Thank you. Something I do want to say about abuse and about, especially about child,
Yeah.
per se, and things like that. And I've had experience with that in my own family. And it isn't always bad. It's not always traumatic. It's not, in my example, it was like a game. And it was just a simple game that was played, and it was thought to be fun, and this is the way we played it. And it wasn't necessarily painful. It wasn't necessarily unenjoyable. And I'm talking about 9 and 10-year-old boys. So yeah. Go ahead. So I just wanted to interject that because
Yeah.
it's
yeah. Every perspective matters. Every
Yeah.
perspective matters.
The only thing that I was going to say is it doesn't become traumatic until you recognize later in time.
right. Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
you're right. There are lots of situations where your favorite uncle or auntie is crossing a boundary, but it's all fun and games and it doesn't really hurt you.
Right.
But there are some instances where it doesn't feel right, even if it's not hurting you and you don't
Sure.
understand it, can't comprehend it. So I think every situation is definitely different.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. And I think that can be it's very confusing no matter what the situation.
of course.
Yes, it is.
Well, how many times has
Especially on a little brain.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Can I-
There's
a little brain, but even as an adult or a semi-adult, I mean, how many times, this
Can I just interject?
Oh yeah.
You've got to wonder. Okay, so it wasn't traumatic, but you got to wonder where that kid learned it from, where that kid learned. Okay, so it's
I know. Yeah.
There is like
Good
natural.
question.
There is natural learning, natural stuff that's
And it's
natural and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But you've
Where
got
did
to
he
take
get
it back.
these ideas to do
Good to
to
see you,
become this
Brad.
person?
That is,
Yes.
and in my case, I can see, because it was familial, right? So I could see where that perpetrator, unfortunately, he did learn it through his life.
Yeah,
You know,
but
he
also
had-
you've got to take
So
things
was
into
it
context.
normal for him, Tiff? Was that considered the norm for his life?
I think so. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that eventually, it became just what was. I think that he was
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I think he was in an over sexualized, or he had exposure to a lot of over sexualization with his mom, maybe having
Okay.
doing things
Yeah,
in the same
that
room.
you said complete. Yeah.
But then he ended up going into foster care, and then those things just were unfortunately continually happening. And so it was a learned behavior.
That's true. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, but
so
see,
I can just
there's certain things, like say when you take it into context, there's certain things where when I say with my cousins, there's certain things that were what I would say were normalized, but then you say because I didn't have that sort of experience, I could say, because I didn't. But there were certain things I could say that with my cousins were normal, I would say, normal experimental type behaviors. But then there were certain things I could say other children could have were completely not normal type experiences that were, that not normal. So that there's sort of things that you could say you'd have to, I don't even know, that you'd
I
have
think
to.
there's that the tracing back to how
What it
people
makes you feel.
like made sex a taboo. I think if there was a timeline we lived in where we just talked about like urges and how to deal with them and made it less of a taboo topic,
Right.
I
agree.
think people
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
be brought into situations where they would be like unaware of
Mhm.
like over sexualization. Because like I just watched an interview on Shalisa's channel with
Oh, yeah.
the woman who's the daughter of the woman who wrote the book for the Children of God cult.
Yep.
And she was saying like, my mom was not raised in a life where she would have even thought of doing what she did once she entered the cult, right?
Right.
But then she was born into it and kind of dragged through that whole messed up thing. So I think if we kind of like look at that as a basis for why or how certain behaviors get demonized, I feel like if we weren't so hard on people for being sexual in general, we're like, okay, that's, I hate the word normal. I'll say typical. Like, I think figuring yourself out is pretty typical. Like, who do you think is sexy? Like, how do you feel good, right? But it's like you can't really talk about that with people. And so I think having that thing of taboo where it's like, okay, then how do I know if this person who's willing to talk to me is typical or atypical? Like, should I be scared of them because they're willing to talk about it? So I think there's like layers.
I think, well, that's 100%. There are layers to this discussion. There are issues as children and as adults and in between, because you have a cult example, and I'm fascinated by cults. And Shalise is a great channel. If anybody's ever not watched Cults to Consciousness, she's amazing. But part of the problem with cults, right, is when you're a second or a third generation, they make it normal for inappropriate behaviors with children. And you don't know if it's right or wrong. You're only going by your own internal sense of something doesn't feel right to me. Typically,
it becomes the norm.
And it becomes
just becomes the norm.
The
And
grooming
you don't
of a child.
know, children, they are raised to follow the adults in their lives, and adults are their heroes. So I think that's a whole different kind of a conversation than what I'm hearing from Cosmic, because, oh, you're on mute, Cosmic.
For some children, adults have never been their heroes.
I'm sorry, say that again, love.
For some children, adults have never been their heroes.
Understood, 100%. There are more children than not whose adults have not been their heroes. Yeah. But Indigo was sort of talking about, if you're raised in certain traditions, if you're raised in certain generations, if you're, depending on how and when you're raised in the time period in which you're raised. I was raised in a Catholic church family. You had to respect every adult. There was no exception to that rule. There was no warning that danger, Will Rogers, some of these adults may not be safe.
And look at how dangerous a thing that is, and how many children have been hurt by that.
I think for most children, if you don't obey your adult, you're going to get punished.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
At least that's the way you feel.
Yeah.
And then you have to look at also the fact that there's much grooming going on for children.
100%. 100%.
And
Such
And
a
they
pity.
will take forever, whatever
Yeah,
it
they will.
takes to get their goal.
They
Yeah.
will. And
Whatever
so
their goal is.
we, as humans who want to defend our children,
Yeah.
need to start becoming more aware and more observant to this, and less taboo and more available to talk this discussion, and to explain that as a child, them not having a say in what is going on in their lives absolutely cannot be something that we consider whether or not it's okay or not. If it is something that is shown to a child, it should not be introduced to them before they can make the decision. They should be able to be at the age where they can decide for themselves before somebody else takes it upon themselves. Because in my opinion, and this is just me, abuse most generally is about power and control.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And we are giving control to our children to people because we don't know how to act in society. And we've got to stop that. We're actually going to be talking about this in a little bit, in a couple more hours. I watched last night Laura FM, and Liz was on there, and help me, Serge, was it Serge?
Oh, sure. Yep.
Serge Del Mar?
Serge Del Mar, yeah.
I have never, because whenever we got introduced to that particular community, there was so much at play that was trying to keep us separated. And I didn't want to go there because I didn't understand. And I was afraid that I was going to go down a giant rabbit hole and not be able to come back out for a little bit, because I knew that once I heard about it, I was going to be, because I cannot stand injustice. And to be honest, I tried to learn a little bit. I just didn't get to a point where I could learn what I needed to, and everything kind of blew up. Last night, by something happening, divine intervention, I don't know, but last night I saw this live, and what they said, my God, how anybody can sit and know that this is going on and put their head in the sand and not do something. We have to stand up for children.
Well, what gets me is how strong these people are to speak up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how much courage it takes to say straight up, this happened to me and this was wrong.
And not
Do you
only
know,
that,
I
but,
mean,
like,
the
on
courage
top
it
of
takes
it-
to even do that, you know?
And on top of it, to be a survivor of an ongoing cult with insane targeting tactics, like, hands down, and in my opinion, there was an op. I don't know if it was OSA. I don't know if whatever, but I think people came in, stirred things up between sides of communities that were supporting each other for the sole purpose of distracting and trying to break the community. And it's sad because the reason I got it, well, I thought that Scientology was just going to be another year-long cult obsession, and then I'd be gone and I'd be on to the next obsessive topic. And then I saw Liz talk about how she thought her dad was literally dead. They literally told her for years that he was dead, and she saw him.
Liz Ferris, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I thought, oh man, if someone effed with me like that about my dad, I would be pissed off.
Yeah.
Well, and then Laura FM, remember that big party they had? Her dad didn't even acknowledge her as he walked by.
That broke my heart.
That
live
was broke my heart. Where she said that she didn't realize
she was screaming.
Well, she didn't realize
brainwashing.
there's that moment where she's talking to him just like he's another guy, and then she realizes it's him. Like, she didn't recognize him at first.
No, yeah. And then she was just screaming and screaming. That just
and
broke
just
my
like
heart.
the power
And
of
all she kept saying was, I love you. I love you.
I
I love you.
Just screaming
and just trying to get to that piece of the heart that still may be there. You know, I
And
love
then
you, Dad.
too,
I
like,
love you, Dad. You know,
Yeah.
and
you
my heart
wonder
just
too
broke for
if
her.
like
I'm
Broke
gonna
for her.
interrupt for just a second because I've
Oh, I'm sorry.
got to get out of here for just a minute. And
You
also
can't leave me.
Teresa, love, this is supposed to be your show. So I
Oh
also
no,
want
this is
to.
great.
Oh,
We can
Okay.
keep it. No,
oh,
no, no.
this is
Well,
the
no,
yeah,
I
Teresa
I
just
can
want
show.
to
go.
I
acknowledge.
was
Well,
no,
come
no,
on,
no.
Teresa. Let's see it. Come
No,
on,
no.
honey.
The only
Da,
reason
da, da,
I
da, 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 da,
Woo! The only reason
da.
why I volunteered is it was an empty space. So this is
Okay,
a
I
great
just didn't want to take
conversation.
away without having
yeah.
you to have that decision.
But I also
Oh
wanted
no,
to
this
say
is
But I need
too,
to
fine.
get
like
off of here for a minute.
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. You
Well,
go
then,
do
Cosmic,
it.
we have an empty chair.
I wanted to just suggest
We
something
completely
too.
run her off.
I
Okay,
wanted
she'll be
to
back.
maybe
suggest
she'll
something
take
to
maybe she'll
Ned
take a nap.
real quick. Yeah, I know. But
Poor
since
Ned.
you were saying that you were interested in, and I should have mentioned it last night, but Laura FM, she did a great series of, I don't know if it's like 11 shows, and she has books from like her childhood. She explains things. So like I really enjoy her. She's one of my faves. And so watching that little series, and you get a lot of information.
So Tiff, are you
That's
talking about
what we need.
Liz Gale or Laura FM?
Laura FM.
Laura FM.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, is she a
Oh my
spitfire
god.
or what?
Can we just say like
She is. But she
She
sits there
is
in her
such a
spot.
spitfire.
And she sits in her spot. And this was really before she was protesting. It was kind of like when she was first coming onto YouTube. And she
Okay.
did like an 11-part series where she just books or pictures, because they don't have a lot of pictures. But she is somebody that has brought her books with her.
Right.
And so she talks a
That's
lot
what we need to
about,
do.
yeah, how she grew up, what the expectations were. She also has different conversations with like Mike Brown, who's another Scientologist.
I was just gonna say, her and Mike Brown,
there's so
they have
many.
that differences.
Yes, but
And
they
they-
talk
Mike
it out.
Brown
They work
is
through it.
so-
Yes.
so
I love
funny.
Mike Brown.
Oh my-
I
he could be-
think he's one of the
Mike
neatest,
Brown could just be
most
like
levelest
reading
men
the
for
phone
what he's
book.
gone through.
For
It's
those who know what a
relaxing,
phone
right?
book is, like, oh my gosh, like he was talking. I watched the interview he did with his mom.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
yeah.
Is Rosemary the cutest thing in the
Oh
whole
my
wide
God,
world?
I'm so glad we got her
She's
back.
adorable.
Yes.
But I wanted
Big
to say,
I
right.
just
too,
want to
like,
reach over and hug her.
That's a perfect example to almost lead back to what Cosmic was talking about earlier, which is think about Rosemary Brown. This was an everyday kind of woman. As an adult, through her husband, she joined a cult. And she didn't have enough of a
love you,
voice
Crystal.
to
Love you,
say,
Crystal.
is there a Crystal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Crystal Phoenix Rising just came to say.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
That's-
you know,
what? Did I miss something?
She's the one that
Ned,
booked out
go rest if
admin.
you need to.
Okay,
You
I
can
will.
see we're gonna have a hen party here with you here or not.
Hey, y'all better clean up. That's all I got to
There's
say.
no
We
dead
gotta
air
ring
here,
in the new
girl.
year.
All right, you better clean up. Don't leave no messes, no cups on the floor. Sweep a little bit before you leave out. And
Now
turn
you're
it on.
asking too much. Now
Yeah,
you're
I know.
asking too
I'm
much.
asking. I love
Okay,
you guys.
Mom.
I will be back on here in just a little bit. I just want to kind of touch base with people and
Yeah,
make sure everything's
catch your
going
breath.
well. I love y'all.
Take a deep breath and
Love you.
get your feet back on the ground.
Oh.
I love you.
So going back just a second, here's this
Yes.
woman who surrendered her child and did not defend her child and was not a resource for her child, not for any reason other than she was so influenced by other voices. And you know, it's amazing.
She thought she was doing the best
that. Well,
because of what was being told to her.
So that's the influence of cults. That's one. That's one thing. I don't, and I'm not going to speak for you, Cosmic, Christy. But when we're talking about the pattern of men and how they have been wounded or mistreated, right? And then how they then turn that back onto the person that they're involved with and their behaviors and hurting maybe the person that they love, maybe not. Maybe it's just that they want to hurt as many women to get even with however they felt they were being treated in their life.
Right.
I think there's a difference between what influences were in your life, because there are parents that quite frankly shouldn't be parents, that they should not have had children. Now I say that, but the children, well, let me finish.
Witness that.
What are you trying to say, lady?
No, let me
My
finish.
parents shouldn't have had kids.
So, but the blessing of that is that the person that they created exists. Now, I'm not one of those children. I had parents that, were decent, but we're talking about people that were not decent to their children, right?
Right.
That it's one thing to be a flawed human and raise children. My parents were flawed humans, but their intention was not to mistreat. And I think there's a lot of parents that do the very best they can with the tools that they have. And then you have other people.
You can definitely tell the difference between
and you can tell the difference that there are parents that are cruel. They're cruel, and they invoke or evoke, I think it's invoke, the punishment on children because it brings them some kind of sick satisfaction, whatever that is.
Some kind of odd pleasure. Yes.
I had both.
Sometimes we had both. That's what it's sounding like.
But it's back to what we said before. It's the power.
But can I ask you guys, if you, like, a real question, do you think that like thinking of that, do you think that can come from generational trauma?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've been delving into that in my many layers of therapy.
Yeah.
Sorry, trigger warning. I might laugh at inappropriate things because trauma's great.
Yeah.
And also joke about it, because if I don't joke, I don't cope. But with my I'm gonna try to make a long story short. So my birth mother had her schizophrenia happen in the 50s and 60s, I want to say, because my first siblings were born in the 80s.
That would have been awful.
And she, her first husband was also mentally unwell and abusive. She had 2 kids with him, tried to leave him, and then the state was like, well, you're not safe for your children. And it's like, no shit, she was going through psychosis. She was being abused and trying to leave, and the state was just like, all right, well, we're just gonna take your kids. And then she meets my dad eventually. So I have 3 older half siblings and my birth sister, who's 18 months older than me, all out with different families, except I got adopted by my biological aunt. So that trauma of like my birth mother and our grandmother, who also had a miscarriage with my grandfather and then went on to have 6 more kids, like trickled down, so that by the time I was with my bad ex and I was like repeating a pattern in our family
that had already been set.
Had been going. But luckily,
but that's what you know.
My mother, who came out later and told me that, my adoptive mom, who came out later and told me the reason I couldn't help you do all this stuff with the police report after you told me what happened was it triggered my memory of being ARD when I was in college. So not only did my birth mother have abuse and whatnot, so did my adoptive mother.
Right.
So then you get all the way down to me eventually.
Right.
And luckily, like I said, by the time he tried to exert all that control over me, and I was telling my mom, I can't come to church anymore. And my mom's like, I see you once a week. You're coming to damn church. I will come get you to go to church.
Wow.
So I had a mom. She, I don't think was able to be aware exactly why she felt the need to like say it like that, but like with her own unresolved trauma. And then I come out and I'm vocal about, okay, this is what happened with him. And of
Right.
course, now I'm getting more memories back because I'm in a safe place, and my brain is like, "You're ready," and I'm like, I'm not though.
Yeah.
So yeah, generational trauma, it definitely.
Most certainly is a thing. And something else I look back on too is like self-medicating, right, over the years of mental illness. In my family anyway, I have generation and generation and generation of alcoholics as far back as possibly can see. And then as you move forward, you start realizing, oh, well, you have an imbalance, or you have this, or you have, and we can medicate with other things, or we can try to manage through other ways, where I think a lot of that for generations was just self-medicating and just self-medicating.
100%.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. So I think
no, you're right. You're right. I think that there's no one shoe fits all. There's not one story that's the
I can't
same.
highlight you, other.
It's we really do, each of us, we either know of or have experienced an event or many events or a lifetime of events, and it's never the same. Just because someone was ARD doesn't mean that experience is the same for every other woman or man that's been ARD, right? And that goes for childhood trauma and the experience that a child may have had. None of them are the same. What's the same is that it's a trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
It's no different than when you lose someone you love and you talk about grief. And it's different, right?
And carrying it with you. And
that's right.
Well, it's still, in my opinion, it's still grief.
100%.
It's still pain. It's just a different kind of grief, but it's still grief. It's still pain. It's still inside you. You know what I mean?
But it's different for each person, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it is
I grieve the innocence of what I had. I can, once you know, and I talked about this earlier today, but once you as that Ming vase has been shattered and now you are glued back together, you're not the same as that original beautiful vase. You're still beautiful, but you're not the same. And you can't go back to feeling that innocent joyfulness because that doesn't exist anymore.
No.
For real. Yeah.
And so whether it happens.
Adulting is hard. Let's just say adulting is hard.
It's truthfully, I think, the age of perception.
But can we just say the broken vase makes better by putting it back together with gold?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
We talked about that this morning. So that's the kintsugi, the Japanese version of putting a vase back together with gold. And that's how I refer to a lot of things with that, because we don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need to live as broken and shattered. We may be. But if we think about how do we put us back.
Missing a few bits.
I'm sorry, hon?
So I'm missing a few bits.
Oh, and we're missing a few bits. But you know what? You're still beautiful. And we're still grateful you're here. And your soul emanates your beauty. It doesn't. Yeah, some of us have been kicked and bruised and battered and, and shattered. We're here. We are survivors. We are here. And the people that are watching us are here, male or female, or indeterminate at the moment. That is what the light is. That's what I hope that we can bring for ourselves, is to raise our own vibrations with each other. That's why earlier when Misha was saying something about how she either felt bad or looked bad or sounded bad or whatever it was like, no. We want to, instead of saying, God, I'm not this anymore, we need to raise ourselves up. We are beautiful. And our definition of beautiful is nobody else's definition. If
I
I
like
look
to
at you,
think that I might be broken glass, but it's stained glass.
however it is that it lights you up,
Sounds pretty.
that,
Yeah.
that makes you
I
feel
love
like
that.
Because sun can shine through stained glass, and if you ever see how it looks on the floor, I mean, obviously, if
Oh,
you're looking at the
Yeah.
window, you'll see whatever picture
yeah.
is in the window. But when you see it just on the floor, it's just broken up rainbow light, basically.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just the whole purpose of me even bringing up that analogy is really, so many of us just feel broken, and how can I shine a light that, yes, we want to
Thank you, Bradley.
respect. We want to respect the brokenness,
Love you,
but
Crystal. I'm here for you.
Sweet dreams, Crystal.
just being here as we are, damn, we're amazing. And so if you want to shine through stained glass, shine through stained glass and crystal
I
and
love that.
whatever
love that.
whatever makes you shine, whatever makes you feel valued, whatever makes you feel rich, and just acknowledge it. Because if we can shine light no matter what we've been through, we're walking through it. Think about the people we get to influence and support. Think about the men and women that listen to
huge.
us that may not want to speak. It's not an easy topic to talk about.
No, and if there's
our wounds,
one person, right?
One person.
And I just want to say
well, this is the way I've always thought about it. Was, remember at the junior high dance where the boys always stood on one side of the auditorium and the girls stood on the other side of the auditorium, and nobody spoke until the very first people finally got up to dance, and then all of a sudden everybody came.
The next one came, and the next one came, and
it takes that first step, that first voice. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yes. Yeah. And I would say too, whatever happened to you is real, and your feelings about it are valid.
They're yours.
So many times I see in chats where people say like, oh, I was told that I was wrong, or a joke, or insert whatever phrase.
I don't
And I just want people to know, like, if you're lurking and feeling like you resonate with chats that you're listening to, and you even just take the first step mentally within yourself to be like, I resonate with this.
Yeah.
That's okay. Like, take your time. It takes time for all of this life, you know, but
and it doesn't hurt to listen. It doesn't hurt to listen, and you don't have to speak.
And the first voice that matters is your voice, but you don't necessarily actually have to talk. If you just think it to yourself, you know, that's enough. You know. Anyways.
Yeah. It's growing. It's growing right there. It just, you know, putting it in your mind and rolling it around a little bit. It's growing right there without saying a word. And hopefully one day, you know, hopefully they won't be as talkative as me, but
well, is that a start of being honest with ourselves? You know, we're the only people that really know what's going on.
Us.
You're right. You know, we can BS whoever we want to.
Right.
But we know the truth. And so is that us almost planting the seeds sometimes and starting, you know, you say it, you hear it once to yourself, then you say it twice, and then you say it the third time, you're like, shit, maybe I need to listen to this.
But it takes, and I say this all the time, it takes a long time to hear it here before it gets to here.
Yes, sometimes.
You have to keep hearing it here before it finally gets to here. If that makes sense. Because you can hear those words.
Yeah.
And you can pound those words in those ears, but until they get into
where you're ready to start saying,
yes,
yeah,
to mentally
stop buying your
unpack.
own BS, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
I think the courage comes from being authentic. The courage
You know, Tiff,
comes
I
from
like you. I don't know. I've never spoke to you before. I like you.
I hope we do more of
I
these.
feel very comfortable with you.
Good. Good.
I think it's important we do more of these with other people and not just talking on our own, because I think, look, each of us has a different perspective and everybody has a different experience. And yes, we want to, you know, being authentic. You're right. So something that you said a moment ago, just, you know, sometimes we try to make it better than it is. And
Right.
we
try to put a bow on it.
Instead of putting a bow on it, say, you know what? Today I don't feel so great. And here's why I'm not feeling great. Because this experience of blah, blah, blah happened, and it reinforced, or it's reminding me, or I feel less than. And that's part of the reason that, you know, in my channel, I hope to talk about, I'm going to acknowledge and hear that you feel less than, but damn it, you're not getting off that channel feeling that way.
Yeah.
Because you know, and this is personal. This is personal to me.
Everybody got bigger. Hi, everybody.
I know.
Yeah, I was going to say
Cosmic chopped off.
I think the thing that's amazing about YouTube is that we're all in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And these situations and experiences feel so isolating. Like, you think you're the only one. And like you were saying, like the most healing thing I did in the year after I left my ex, after which I was technically stalked 3 times because he wouldn't leave me alone for 6 months, and then I got like 2 other stalkers. And in that time, I was just like, you know what? I got to get up to go to work, but I'm depressed. And I would just like roll up to my job at the time and be like, I'm really depressed. Could you by any means put me on like the one position where I don't really have to talk to people? And then if I have to transition to talking to them for like the last 4 hours of my shift, I will do my best, but I'm not going to be like, welcome to here. Here's your beverage.
Yeah.
And then just like being depressed.
The plastic face of the plastic smile and
because I plastic smiled my way into an unaliving attempt when I was 27. And then after I left my ex, I was like, I know 2 things. This happened to me, and it's gritty, and it sucks, and I'm not happy, and I don't want to fake being happy for other people. And as soon as I kind of did that and was like feeling my feelings, I realized like I have such a privilege that I'm female at birth, and I can just like cry in public. I mean, it's a little uncomfortable, but if I just burst into tears in public, it's treated a lot less awkwardly than if I were to be a man doing the exact same thing. And so I really feel for like the constraints put on men. And that's what I told my sister when my nephews were born. I said, the 2 biggest disservices: never tell your sons to shut down their feelings, because kids don't have the words adults have. They have emotions, and they have big ones. Let them stomp, let them cry, and then ask them what's wrong and help them articulate it. But don't tell them to shut it off, because then they won't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And feelings only get bigger from age like 11 to 17. It sucks. It sucks being a kid. And it sucks being a kid.
Well, and then you got the hormones kicking in.
Oh man.
So then on top of all of that other,
all that other stuff. And I can't imagine like the level of insanity on top of you're also experiencing abuse of some kind. And now you're going through all these emotions for which you don't have words, and being told not to cry. Of course it's going to turn into anger and outbursts. Like it's how it happened to me in adulthood. I tried to shut down my emotions and only deal with things with logic. That didn't last long.
Well,
And
and I
then I
think
was like, oh,
that
I see.
as light workers, as healers, as empaths, as intuits, as livers in this life, we live in this world, we live in this space and time with each other. We have to be more aware about not judging when we see someone in an emotional crisis. Oh, she's just having a day, or she's just nuts. You know, how many times think about
Well,
our
there's those songs.
It's the time of the month. She's just
Oh yeah, there it is. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
It just one of them days that a girl goes through. Just one, yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that we all have to be more aware on how we respond to someone that we're observing, whether it's a known person or a stranger. Because there's a lot of people in my community where I live that are homeless. And the first thing people say is, well, they're lazy and don't want to get a job. I know some of these people. They're not lazy people. Some even have 2 jobs. But, they're not in a position because there are mental challenges. They have domestic issues. They can't go home. Or there's a whole host of,
Yeah.
there's a whole host of
And
reasons.
once you get in that hole so deep, oh, it's so hard to dig back out. It's
so my
so
point
hard
being-
to dig back out.
But my point being, we shouldn't be judging so quickly before we even know who it is. We make assessments of other people, right? And it's natural. We're like, oh my God, if they would just get a freaking job already, everything would be better. We have no idea until we walk in someone else's shoes, a mile
Sure.
in someone else's shoes. And so both from a male and a female perspective, our wounds are almost earth-shattering to us, right? They can destroy us. And sometimes just observing a couple in a store that are having an argument sets my soul on fire. And then the Sicilian comes out in me and I want to just go over and smack somebody because I'm like, how can you treat that person like that?
Yeah.
And my role is really just to send them love and light unless I'm seeing actual violence. And then I'm going to step in because I won't allow it. You may hurt me, but I'm not allowing it anymore. I'm not going to be a witness rather than I'm going to be a participant. If you're hitting a child or an adult, I don't care who you're hitting. A dog, quite frankly, I get more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm with you there.
Don't go after an animal. So my point is there's always this quickness to make a judgment on someone. Oh, they're quirky. Oh, she's just, you said that time of the month.
You look across the street, just a snapshot in your eye, and you have a whole story.
That's right. That's right. It may not be.
Oh, yeah, we're quick to judge. We're quick to judge.
I try to liken it to like.
I mean, down to their shoes, their where their hair is cut. I
try to
stupid thing on their heads.
Yeah.
I try to remember from working customer service is like the years that I was working like face-to-face customer service, not over the phone, where like people are this close to your face.
Yeah.
Like being
leaning on you.
Oh, that could be traumatic right there.
In those like 3 years, my mom's sibling, one of her siblings had a stroke in a foreign country, and we had to try to get her evac'd back to the United States. My dad had a stroke. I got diagnosed with cancer, and my niece got diagnosed with like a rare genetic condition.
Jeez.
And people would just come in and like yell about their latte, and I'd be like, I'll just remake it for you. And one of my coworkers was like, well, why are you being so nice to him? I'm like, because I'm going through hell. and they don't know. It's not the
Right.
latte, man. You think I flipped out at the poor Walgreens pharmacist over my toothpaste?
Medicine.
My
Yeah.
toothpaste not being ready on time. It has nothing to do it with the toothpaste.
Right.
Right.
There's a whole other background of crap, and the toothpaste is just the last thing. What do you mean it's not ready? The text said it was going to be ready. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, the
My
pharmacists
teeth
have
are
to
gonna
eat
all fall
lunch.
out.
The pharmacists have to eat lunch, and they finally got their legal lunch hour. So yay CVS for finally giving your pharmacist their lunch hour that they legally should have had already. But that's what I tell people
Well,
is you never know. Like I remade a woman came in like really apologetic that she was late, and I just remade like 5 things for her because it sat out, and you can't let fraps sit out. They get gross.
Yeah.
And so someone's like, and she was like, oh my God, thank you. Like I messed up which location I was supposed to go to. And like, I'm taking these to my family in the hospital because we're like spending time with my dad. And I was like, you never know what people are going through.
no.
Right.
And that's why I feel like it is so very important to make the effort in every possibility to meet people just simply where they are. I don't
100%.
think it's that difficult of a thing to do if you are mindful.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. And I think that's the lesson that each of us can learn every day. It's not something that, again, there's always stereotypes, right? And we
Yeah.
make up stories like that about a person. But if you sat and had a conversation with them, you might understand something differently. There's a lady I encounter in the dog park, and she's got piercings all along each cheek, almost basically around her whole face. And there are a couple of people that were commenting about it behind her back. And I just said, that's her idea of beauty, and she feels beautiful. And if that makes her feel beautiful, you don't have to like it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
No one's saying that you have to go to your
And
house.
you don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
Turn your
But
head.
You also just have to respect that it's someone's style. It's
Yeah.
It's
but
the
it
same as
also-
a
It's their
haircut.
expression.
that's exactly
It's
right.
their expression
It's their
of
expression
who they are.
100%.
Or like
You can have-
instead of like making an assumption, like I noticed it a lot more when I started working on my full sleeve because all of my tattoos I have actually right now they can be hidden. But I decided, okay, I'm going to jump into working on a full sleeve and had her just do the outline of the whole outside of my arm like 4 years ago. And as soon as I had more than like a couple things on one part of my body, I noticed people A, noticing me more,
Yep.
and B, making more assumptions. And a lot of some people were brave to ask like, oh, does it have a meaning or whatever? And if it does for me, but if it didn't, it's like, it makes me happy, and
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is she could be the sweetest person on the planet, but what assumption are you making just because she has piercings in her face?
Tons.
Yeah.
Tons. I mean,
Well, I thought about at one time getting a rose on my chest, right?
Yeah.
And having the the stem and the everything like that. Well, I'm glad I didn't, because the stem would be so long now.
And you know what? And I know that my family
I would be to my belly button.
It's hard to kill roses,
But I
they're
do
always
still see
growing.
there's
She's
a
like,
history for like the
I'm sorry.
stigmatization of things,
I'm
but-
sorry, Teresa. You'll get used to me. I just that's
It was very funny.
Yeah.
long stem. There you go. Other
Just turn
said,
it into
long
what-
stem roses cost more.
Yeah,
There
Okay,
you go.
just keep that in mind.
I love it.
And look, we all do it. I mean, I've seen people with tattoos and they're, they crawl up their chin and their face and their sides, and I make all sorts of assumptions. And I've learned over the years that it's someone's self-expression. So,
It is.
you know, they could look at me going, she has no tattoos. What the hell's wrong with her? She's no tattoos.
Yes.
Like, what's wrong with you?
But she's so boring. No, just kidding.
You know,
You're
right?
not.
Exactly. Wow, how vanilla is she? It's everybody gets to tell their own story, and the only thing that I would encourage, as all of us move forward, is to wait to hear the story. And ask. So Indigo, people will come to you and say, "Oh, listen, what's your story? Tell me about your tattoo. Is there a story around it?" Nope, I just like the tattoos.
Yeah.
I had a hairdresser.
I like the colors and the.
There are stories, but that's a whole video. I could do a whole content.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
I'm kidding.
I can tell you about my rose if we can share stories.
I know what you're saying too, and I think that's the thing, right? Is when we share our stories, because I've reached a point in my healing where I honestly think I'm getting more out of sharing my story on random live chats than I am talking to my therapist about it. But I've been in therapy with this therapist for like almost 2 years. So it's like, how many times can I rehash the same cycle with her?
I've been in therapy for 2 years, darling. I've been in it for 40. Trust me, I rehash this fucking story over and over and over.
What I mean is, like, in terms of like,
and poor therapists,
like
they need therapists. You know?
Yeah, but I feel like I'm healing different things, finding people who relate. Where it's like it's almost like group therapy without the therapist.
So I only would caution that.
Well, I mean, to an extent,
without the pressure of everybody sitting in a semicircle and staring at each other, and
because there is a difference, and that's one of the things that I will reiterate 1,000 times on my channel. Is I'm not a therapist. I have wounds and I have wisdom, but that does not mean that I have the professional know-how.
Oh yeah, no.
To elicit not the right responses, but the responses that will guide me to my healing or you to your healing. I'm sharing what I've learned along the way. You take what you need and what is interesting to you, and you flush whatever else. But I'm never going to say
disclaimer.
That's right. This is how you're going to get through whatever situation.
No. I will say disclaimer. Indigo has an entire medical team of like doctors and therapists and psychiatrists in the background. So I just want to tell people too, like, when people share what works for them, and maybe the same type of therapy or the same tips and tricks don't work for the same individual over a 40-year time span. I'm only 34. I have a decade to go before I'm where you're at, but I feel like
where you're at, honey, I'm in my 60s. You got several decades to catch up to
what I mean is, though, like,
a baby. She's a baby.
Sometimes I feel like, though, hearing other people's wisdom makes me think of my situation from a new perspective. Because
100%.
when you're so introspective of yourself for so long, I feel like sometimes you get into these states of being blocked, and then somebody else goes, "Oh, I'm going to ask this question," and then I'm like, "Oh, I never thought about that."
Yeah.
Right.
And
or thought of it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like what others said. He's like, therapists are really expensive professional friends. Yes, they are. And I've been doing it a long time.
Yes.
But I also feel like, and this is for anyone that's stalemating. I've also had people, therapists, professionals, that I got to a point I couldn't go any further.
Yeah.
And so it's also important that you have the right people that are going to help promote you in the way that you need. Some therapists, some talk therapy, all you do is talk.
And some don't, they just don't fit.
They don't fit.
Let's just be honest. They don't fit.
They do not.
They don't fit you. You don't fit them. And it's okay.
It's
it's like
and you can't let that discourage you.
Right, 100%. No. I mean, that's what I was going to say is, don't be afraid to you're not hurting someone's
To
feelings.
speak up. You're the biggest advocate. You're the only one that knows. Right.
Well, and that's hard to be an advocate for yourself. You don't want,
is.
a lot of times you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I've had to learn in order not to allow to stay in a situation. Again, staying with a therapist is no different than staying in a bad relationship. If you need to be able to, thank you so much for our time together, I'm going to move on, but thank you for what you've given me, and then go to another therapist.
My primary doctor said, when I walked in her office, she's like, "What am I doing for you?"
Yep. That's
I never had a doctor say that to me before, but it's right. You are paying them to give you a support or a service, and sometimes you outgrow them. Like maybe
100%.
what you need is a different type of therapy, or maybe like the thing that they're specialized in. After you hit a certain point with it, you're like, I want to talk about something else, and they're not well versed in it. Like I left a therapist because they weren't LGBT educated at all, and I was like, well, that doesn't help me in my current situation, so let's find one that is.
And one
well,
of the things
I've had therapists that go, okay, I think we've gone as far as we can.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend you to somebody that specializes in blah, 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 blah.
That's right.
And
that's
right. So I give them a try,
Yes,
What's
and
that?
if you have insurances too, a lot of the websites will let you filter through your insurance website. Like I'm looking for a relationship therapist. I'm looking for a blank like fill in the blank.
Right.
And you can say like, I want these things, and it'll give you a list of people. I mean, now you still have to call them and see if they're taking new clients, but there's tools out there, and things are changing, like teletherapy. There's places that will let you text them if you don't want to talk on the phone or be on video. Like things are going in a good direction to give people of all preferences a way to get help. So
and
I find that encouraging.
I've noticed ever since the Big C, a couple of years ago came out, that therapists are really getting booked.
Therapists are terrible.
That really, whatever people had been hiding or suppressing for so long, all of a sudden exploded.
Because of
think about
lockdown.
what COVID did, right?
Because of the lockdowns and the seclusion and the, what I mean?
They've already talked about what COVID did. COVID increased domestic violence, child abuse, SAs, because you were trapped and there was no communication, and there just aren't enough therapists. And one of the things that Other just mentioned in one of his comments was that sometimes therapists make you uncomfortable, and that's part of your growth. But you have to determine when it's just too much, because sometimes people are pushing you and you are not ready.
Yeah, I've left therapists because of that. They were like, here, a bomb drop. And I was like, see you next week. And by next week, I meant never, and got a new therapist.
So, I mean, I think
I went to a therapist one time, and I mean, an adult therapist for an adult people. And she says, here's a coffee table with crayons. And I went, why do I want crayons? I didn't understand that. Some people it works for me, I'm hurting inside. Okay, black. That's all I want to show you is black. I don't care about the blues, the greens, the purple. Here, this, I'm done.
So there are reasons, right? There are different therapists and there are different reasons. Some want you to physically do something because it indicates to them cognitively where you are. So after my health event in 2019, because I was dead for 14 minutes,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, my thought process, it took almost 2 years for me to stop stuttering, to be able to think more clearly. So I actually got sent to a therapist in order to get on disability, and I had to do these cognitive tests, and I was in tears because they read a sentence like, Jack ran up the hill to see Jill, and I was like, okay, now repeat the sentence. So there are reasons why people do certain things. If I had to do that kind of therapy on a regular basis, I would commit Harry Carey.
Oh no!
Because
but again, doesn't your mind still say, "I know how to do this," but it doesn't come out?
Yes.
100%.
And so, and it's not that you're angry at them for asking you; it's angry at yourself that you're like, "I know how to do this.
Yeah.
I know how to do this. Why can't I do this?"
Yes.
Well, the benefit of me not being able to do it is I was able to get disability.
Well, that's the thing. But like, I have MS. I have multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
And so those are tests that I do on the regular, and it's really, they can be very frustrating because even some of like, there's the PEG testing, right?
Yes.
Where you just, and it's like certain things like that you think, oh, it's going to be a piece of cake, no problem. And then you go to do it and you're like, what's happening here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
and the brain things, repeat
The
to
whole
me.
brain thing. It's
so bad with repeating. Like my psychiatrist did a little bit of that, like, and at a certain point he was like, don't try to perfect this. Like, that's not the point of this exercise. And I was like,
It's to see what you can do. Really. I mean, it's really to see just
and those are the things that I think can be disheartening because you know better and you can do something, yet your body or your mind can't at that moment in time.
Yeah. And I feel like when we were saying advocating for yourself, I have found to be so exhausting because for 6 years and nobody listened to me.
Yeah.
And then it's been like interesting going in and being like, I would like to get tested for this because it's a family genetic issue.
That's smart.
And then being like, I don't know, that seems like a big jump. I'm like, can you just put me in the MRI? Just put me in there. Scan my brain.
Well, it's most certainly a process, like I haven't, you guys don't know my story, but like I didn't walk for 7 months. Wow. And everybody was just like kind of, okay, bye. Like I wasn't getting a diagnosis at that time. I was kind of in where you were, Indigo, like, hello, somebody listen to me, talk to me. But I was in a wheelchair and they just kept pushing me out. Like me being in a wheelchair was the normal.
Right.
Was your new normal.
Was just normal. And we didn't have an answer at that time why I was in the wheelchair.
See, MS it runs in my family from my grandmother. My birth father's mother had MS.
Yeah, okay. It's more common it can be genetically there. It's more common the maternal path. But obviously anybody can get it. But yeah, the testing and even how they just treat this is normal. Okay, goodbye. We'll see you in 3 months. And I'm like, what? Wait,
you're like,
though.
No, I would like to walk, please.
Yeah,
Well, what do I do in the 3 months?
Yeah, and I had a 13-year-old daughter. She was just turning 13. I was a single mom. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then I had one doctor I spoke to. He said, if even if I thought you had MS, I wouldn't tell you for 5 years. And luckily, I got diagnosed by then. But in that 5-year period, I had more exacerbations. So you do have to advocate for yourself, but it's difficult when you don't know what you're trying to advocate for.
Yes.
Right.
And like, I know you want to get these tests, Indigo, and I did too.
Or even just
I'm
to
like,
rule it out or just to stop being told I'm some weird mystery. I'm like, I didn't walk out of like a mystery movie, guys. Like I have a medical log you can look at.
Right. And I think sometimes it's not a bad idea just to have a picture of things. Right? Like, wouldn't it be nice to just like, okay, let's take a picture of it now, and then maybe if things progress, we can look again. Right?
Right.
Oh yeah, I take videos,
Right.
pictures.
But insurance dictates how all that goes, and you have to
They
go
do, yeah.
through
Oh, look.
15 steps first.
Yeah, I'm
So-
gonna have to rule out what it's not before they rule out what it could be, and I'm like, okay, it's I think it's pretty good chance it's either MS or fibro, but
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, so they're gonna take more of my blood, more
Well,
of
I
my
have fibro too. You can have both. And I also have lupus.
girl.
So I mean, you
Good
can have a
heavens,
multitude.
honey.
You are a freaking warrior. Jeez.
And I have,
Yes.
Seriously.
I call it the crumbling tower of Tiffany, which is my
Oh
spine.
Lord Jesus. So I see that Ned's coming back on, or actually Misha. So I don't know if
Mandy
somebody
too.
else is supposed to come on now. Is somebody else supposed to come on?
That's what I was coming to say is we have somebody, it's going to be our lovely T from Perth.
Okay.
Yes. Oh
Um,
my god, I love
What?
She's
Who,
running
what?
just a T from Perth.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh,
she's
I
running a
just
little bit
love,
late.
I just love listening to her.
I know, I love her
Just
too.
talk,
I know.
baby. Just talk
She's
for
such a
me.
sweetheart.
Right? She's gonna be coming on. She's running tad late. She's acting a little bit like Ned.
Okay.
But it's up to you guys if you want to stay. And I'm sure she will be fine with if you guys want to stay even then.
I think I'm going to go,
Okay.
but I think Other is quite interested in this conversation.
Oh
if you
yeah.
if you notice the chat, he is very involved.
I love
Body,
He's
it.
very interested in this.
Are we connected on Facebook, Body Illusion?
You're both in the chat.
Okay, I was gonna say if he also has a Facebook, if you want to connect him to me, if he's comfortable with that, I would.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask him. I'll
Okay.
ask him.
I'll be
Yeah,
right back. I gotta
no
let the dogs
problem.
out.
No
Okay.
problem.
And nobody has
Because
to
I
stay.
know
I want to
he's
say that. Nobody has to stay, but thank you for being here. And if you want to stay, you're welcome, at least until we get T on and she runs you out, which she's not going to, I don't think.
no. I'm what I'm going to
Oh
do
my
is
God,
I'm going to put this on my big old monitor
She's
in my
gonna
living
put it on
room,
bridge.
and I'm just going to turn on her voice and just listen to her.
Love
You hear that? We're talking
There
about
she
you,
is! There she is!
Oh my gosh, how are you going,
What a
T?
little cutie pie.
I'm good.
T.
What a little cutie
Hi,
pie.
beautiful. You can't do that. You don't know how. Come
Hello.
on, don't lie to me.
So hang on a minute, right?
So I have a
Hang on,
question
it's
for
like,
all.
hold on a minute.
Yeah,
Okay,
Misha.
let me tell you something.
Bed.
Am I
Let me tell you.
to my studio and then go live from there, I think.
Yeah.
Let me
however
tell you
wanna do
something,
it.
T.
That was just an invite if you wanted to come early or not.
I have a little story, and then I'm gonna leave.
Well,
Okay.
hold on before you
I-
say your little story.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I've got to lie down for a little bit, and I know that I'm scheduled
Please do.
for 2 hours from now.
Please do.
Do you know,
At
I
least
have to
stop
leave
your
and go
brain
back
for a
to
minute.
my studio.
No, I'm
What?
not leaving you, T, forever. I'm not. I promise. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is we've got you
Yes.
for an hour, and then we've got Tiff for an hour, and then I've got an hour.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out
Well,
what we
how
can
about
do.
that? I'll say, because I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and my
do.
twitches are coming. So
I mean, we're gonna do
Okay,
the
yeah.
ball drop, right? Are we gonna do the ball drop, guys? At, like,
I wanted
midnight?
to, but oh my goodness.
Well, no, you don't have to. But like, we can just watch it or bring in the midnight New Year on the East Coast.
I think I just have to go out and back in again. 1 second. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'll be back.
And so then I'll
see you.
stay.
I knew you'd talk.
I'll stay, and we can play games and stuff.
Ned, first of all, Ned, go rest your head.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I
You
just
know,
worry I
even
don't
if
want to not
even if
wake
it's
up.
just resting your brain, resting your head, laying
Well, if
down.
I close my eyes for more than a second, I'm guaranteeing I'm going to sleep, and I just don't want to stay asleep. And so I'm trying to make sure that I have
Set an
everybody
alarm.
covered. No alarms. They don't wake me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The only thing that wakes me is Bradley, and I don't know, if he's going to be, because with his hearing
Right.
now, he only hears if he's on one side.
Right.
And so I'm just trying to think. I have, and so unprofessional are we? I can't help it. We got T for an hour, and then we've got Tiff for an hour, and then we've got Mish for an hour.
I'll take
By the
your
way,
other
y'all-
hour. I mean, it's okay. What
Well, because
And
I've
then
got.
what am I
From-
doing? I keep taking potty breaks and stuff. So
Well, I know, but Tiff, you have
That's
2 to
hard.
3 and
That's
3 to
hard.
4.
yeah,
hard.
I know.
That's hard.
I'm just letting you know that's what
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Ned, if you need me, contact
No,
me.
I'm not. No,
we
no,
we
man.
can you
She's
know
like,
You've been
no,
with
I'm
us
going to
for
I'll
sleep.
grab an hour or two of your shift so you can lay down and
Young lady, you have been going just as long as me.
no, don't worry about me, honey.
I can stand
You know
in
me,
for
I'm
Ned
a
when you
napper.
want to.
I nap.
I figure Indigo can be around.
I nap.
I mean, different
I
people
nap
be
all the
around.
time. But
So wait
um
though, because I think that Indigo, you said you could.
What time?
It's midnight to 1 and 1 to 2.
That's Misha.
mhm.
I could probably do midnight to 1.
Okay.
What they're
Because
I'll do
I'm
the
thinking seriously,
3.
we were only going to do like from 3 p.m. to 3 p.m. And so
3.
I think if we did till 4 o'clock anyways, I think that we would be okay. And then Brian can come on, Ben can come on, and everybody can come on as they're scheduled, but we don't have to worry about the empty spots anymore because I think that we have done an amazingly incredible job since Thanksgiving. And I am so very
I think the
thankful and
village
proud.
is a beautiful place. I just
agree.
really do. I really
I do
do.
too. But I also
And
don't want any of the
anybody who's lurking in there, please subscribe to the village. I have not seen anybody put up, I'm going to be ugly. I haven't seen anybody put up a channel or nothing over there. Please put up channels, please.
Well, I don't think
I
anybody's
am
over there.
so
though.
obsessed about that.
I don't
No,
think anybody's
Please
over on the village.
subscribe to the village because
And I actually,
all of it is there. All of it is there.
on my channel, I told people to come over to the village.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm over here.
Oh,
Come
good,
check us
Tiff.
out over here.
See?
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't even been modding it because I haven't been there. Usually it's been like everybody's going over to the other channels. And the biggest
It's
goal is
been
not
going
to get
nice.
memberships over there or to get subs over there. The biggest goal is just to get everybody connected right now.
That's
And
what
then we'll
I
figure
like.
everything else out later. Yeah, we'll figure everything
Yeah.
else out as it comes. But
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everybody knows that we have worked really hard, and that's every single person behind the scenes. People have been working, and I am very grateful and very proud of every single one of us. And I think that if something happens and we don't have an hour that's covered, I don't think we need to kill ourselves over this, because I think that we have made such an effort and that we have gotten enough people to realize that we are here and we are serious and we want to be there. That
Okay.
if we are putting ourselves in a situation where we're not being very healthy, then we're not doing a good example for ourselves or
Right.
anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not setting it.
That's
For
true
others.
too.
So I am very, very, very grateful. I'm very thankful. I love you guys.
Were we going?
If we can get
was
somebody
T going to her channel or?
I think T is actually, let me look and see.
There she goes again.
Who, me
Not
leaving?
saying anything, Ned, but here you go again.
What I doing? Going back at it?
Yes,
All right, I'm in.
Well,
I'm gonna rest, but let me check on this.
Mhm.
Let me rest,
Oh
but
yeah,
let me
she-
check on
she
this.
popped
she popped over to her channel.
yeah.
So
Did she?
And let me see.
Yeah,
You live
so-
there.
Okay,
And then
is
let me go
she
to the
is she
village.
connected to the village or is she just?
She's asking if she's connected. So let's give her a sec. In the meantime,
Okay.
I'm going to jump off. So I'll try
So
to
me
watch.
as well.
God
Yep.
bless you all and Happy New Year. And I'll see you all
Teresa,
tomorrow.
thank you, babe.
I'll see you next
Teresa.
year. It was
Yeah.
wonderful meeting you, Teresa.
Bye,
Tim,
guys.
I love
Bye.
meeting you, and I hope to talk to you again. I
Oh,
really
absolutely. Absolutely.
do. Yes,
Me
I
too.
enjoyed it
Me
completely.
too.
Thank you for everything.
Me too. Thank
Ned?
You
you.
guys are awesome.
Rest, honey. I love you. Rest.
Yes. Oh, we lost Indigos.
We have T is live in the village and on her channel. And I'm going to put the link in. Right there. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to where we're at. Man, everybody just went out fast. What happened?
I don't know.
Everybody just left.
I know.
Boy, can I run a room.
I know. What'd you say? What'd you say? Let's see. Now, everybody's over on
Here we
T's
go.
channel, which is okay.
Thing kills me.
It's dual stream.
I think we are set.
Is she on the village?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
And there we go. I've got the link in the village and in, pardon me, in Awakened. And so that way everybody knows where to go. And then, Tiff, do I have you set up?
Yep, I'm good to go.
Awesome. Oh, and there we got. Hello, darling.
What is going on?
I don't know.
I can't connect it. I can't use my scheduled thing again, so I have to write a description. I write a massive big long
It won't let you
description.
use your description
No.
to come over here.
No, I have to do another one. It's not connecting properly. Like I've got everyone in my chat talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in my studio,
Yes.
but I'm in this studio as well. Sorry, I'm talking for people on my channel.
I
I'm
didn't even
talking
know we
on
could
the other
do
studio.
that.
Sorry.
That's
IT
fancy
channel.
smancy.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, let's see. Let's kick you out of here.
It
and
says
see
Well,
I'm
what
we
happens.
can
connected to
just
the
go
village.
to. Let's just go to your channel. I'll watch
Yeah, that's
you.
what I'm saying. And then
But
if we have
but
to,
it says I'm connected to the village, but then I go to the village and I'm not on it.
did you refresh?
I didn't see you for a little while either, but now I can see you.
I do not understand.
I
Hold
don't
on, let me
know.
look because it
I
showed on there.
haven't
I was
hit
just on
stream
there.
I haven't hit stream to the audience yet because it wants me to put in a new description. So I don't know if that's going to cut off my other stream.
Yeah, we don't want
No,
to do that. You've
it
got people
won't.
over there.
I don't think it'll cut it off. It'll just because that's what I had to do. So I just copied and pasted what I had on my channel.
And I
Okay,
can
I
do
don't know
that
how
for
to
you.
get that up.
I can do
Sorry,
that for you.
guys. I don't know how to get that up when. Oh, there we go. I can copy and paste it.
I was gonna say I can do that for you, and that way you don't have to mess with it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not the description I put up on my phone. That is crap. Okay, never mind.
Do what now?
Okay, hang on. Okay, I'll put stream to the audience. I'll put the thingy in. I've copied and pasted. Paste.
You're live.
Let's see.
Apparently.
I mean,
Oh,
you're
I'm in
live
with
on
you.
the
Right,
village.
okay. Okay, happy New Year.
Yeah, you're live on the village, though, baby.
I'm live on
sitting
the
looking at you.
village. Okay.
But
Let's
we
see
need
what
to
it's
figure
doing
it
in my
out
other
to where
studio.
yours on your thing is.
Yeah, I know. That's so weird. Sorry, guys. Hang on.
Apologies.
Apostate Alex.
Wow, Apostate Alex.
It's still me
Oh
by
my
myself
gosh.
on my channel. What is going on? Alex,
Yeah, I don't
you
understand
just
either.
got here and
How about this?
I'm
How
having
about
a
we get
problem with
out?
my things. Hang on.
How about we hop
Sorry?
off, T, and see
Okay.
if everything's okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want to ruin your continuous thing, you know?
No, it won't because you're running separate. So that's why I don't understand why it's like that. But yeah, we're running
So
separate.
weird. It says
Yeah.
it's running to the village.
So what I'm
Okay,
going to do is I'm going to hop out. And the only thing is when you're finished, just X out of it and I'll check the stream here in a little bit.
And then I'll hop in it, right?
and then you can hop in it. Yep.
Okay.
All welcome, all welcome. Sorry, guys. I know it looks like I'm talking to myself, but I'm not. I'm on another channel at the same time, and I'm talking to 2 other people. So, yes.
No,
this
she's
is
not.
so
She's not.
Right. It's all a pigmentation of your imagination.
Oh, I'm clicking out of this because it's driving me
Okay.
nuts.
All right.
All right. Okay. All right. Bye.
Goodbye, ladies. Rest, Ned.
Not you
Yes.
guys. Not you guys. I'm staying with you guys.
All right. Bye, honey.
Bye, babe. And like I said, if we end up to all right, guys, I love y'all. We may have continual stream, we may not, but I think that we've done a really great job, and I'm proud of everybody. But this old broad's tired. So hopefully we've got somebody that's going to bring in the new year. But no restrictions, right? If we're tired, we're not going to have the plastic any longer. How about that? Pretty nice, huh? I love y'all.